Thank you guys. Thanks for having me come out. Cause Camp, how are we feeling this morning? Come on, let's give it up. Let me ask you a question. How would you respond if I did this? Come on, let's get everyone going. You can stomp with me too if you want. All right, we can cut it. How did you know to clap when I stomp my foot twice? How did you know that? That's right. There's a beat there, right? We are conditioned to know when you hear two stomps, there's going to be a clap. Just like we are conditioned a lot in the nonprofit world, in society, that when there's a problem, it's the end of the world. A setback is like, oh, what do I do? By the end of this next half an hour or so, I hope that you will be on the same side of the table with me and believe with every fiber of your being that problems aren't the end of the world. No. In this room, challenges build champions. We're going to talk about how to break through any setback and spark lasting change. Little preview of what we're going to do this morning, and we're going to have some fun while we're doing it. There's 4 pillars, I believe, to overcome any challenge or setback. Feel free to take pictures, take notes, whatever you'd like. Purpose. I don't need to tell this room that. Purpose and connecting with a strong purpose is a huge reason to overcome any challenge. Leverage. We'll talk about that. How do you get leverage on yourself to take action? Action, my favorite one. Consistently taking action is the 3rd pillar. And then with all 3 of those combined, you can change your identity. Play like a champion. Now, this is not the only method to overcome challenges, but this is the one I've been blessed to use for my 42 years on this planet. You'll hear some of my story. I have interviewed countless people on my podcast, and this is what they speak to, these 4 pillars. I'm excited to share them with you. We're going to get things kicked off with 3 people. Let's start from left to right. Who's the guy on the left? Michael Jordan, right? Arguably, we might have some LeBron fans here, arguably the greatest player of all time. Woo, there we go. Chicago is in the house. All right. Some of you may know, some of you may not. Michael Jordan was cut from his varsity basketball team as a 10th grader. Just for context, I made my varsity basketball team as a 10th grader. I'm not up there. He used that challenge to turn himself into the ultimate champion. Extra points if you know who's in the middle. Who's the woman in the middle? Sarah Blakely. Anybody have a pair of Spanx? There we go. Ladies know. Sarah Blakely sold her company Spanx for, I believe, $1.2 billion a few years ago. What you may or may not know is Sarah Blakely was going to follow in her dad's footsteps and become a lawyer. Some of you are nodding. She took the LSATs twice and failed. Sarah Blakely passes the LSATs. Nobody has a pair of Spanx in this room. Totally different outcome. A challenge turned her into a champion. My favorite, Sylvester Stallone up there. Raise your hand if you've seen Rocky. Please put your hand up. Look around the room. And if you haven't, you can leave the rest of this presentation and go watch it. Phenomenal movie. Mid-1970s. Sylvester Stallone is broke. He has nothing. $200 to his name. He sells his dog Butt Kiss for $40 outside of a liquor store because he has to pay for food. No money. He writes the script to Rocky in one weekend, pitches it to studios. They love it. Studios love it. Studios say, we'll give you $100,000 for the script. He's broke. He says no. Why? Because he wants to play Rocky and they don't want him to. They're like, you're a thug. Like, you're a bouncer that's cameo movie material. You're not a star. but he knew his outcome. He said no. He turned down $250,000. He turned $360,000 down because he wanted to play Rocky. He took $20,000 for the movie Rocky and a very small budget. The first thing Sylvester Stallone did is he waited outside of the liquor store in hopes the guy would come back that he sold his dog to. The guy comes back, and he buys his dog Budkiss back. Does anyone know what he bought it back for? $15,000. I mean, I love dogs, but he only had $20,000. He spent $15,000 to get his dog back. Budkiss is in Rocky 1 and 2. That is the dog in the movie. Challenges built these three into champions. Now, that's a character of a picture of one of my really good friends, John. John and I went out to dinner probably a few years ago now, and I sat and we were having just a good, deep conversation. He was having a couple beers, and I thought, I'm gonna ask John a question. John, how come you drink? Can I just ask? I know we're having a deep conversation. He looked at me and he said, Matt, I drink because my dad was an alcoholic. That's all I saw growing up was my father would come home and he would be drinking, and it was always around me. His buddies would come home and they would be drinking, and I just knew that's who I would be. I would be somebody that drank. I drove home and I thought, okay, I guess that makes sense. And then I met his brother a year later. This is what his brother looks like. Pure stud, physically, mentally strong. And I got his brother one-on-one. His name's Dylan. And I said, Dylan, let me just ask you. He didn't drink. Dylan didn't drink. And I said, can I ask, why don't you drink? And in my head, I thought, his brother does, he doesn't. Like, what was it? And Dylan said, Matt, I have to tell you, man, when I was growing up, my dad was an alcoholic. I saw when he would come home and the violence and just the anger and how he would treat my mom, and it ripped our family apart. Then his buddies would come home and they would be drunken idiots and throwing up everywhere. And I was like, I will never be like him. The question is, are we more like Dylan or are we more like John? And I know in this room, or else you wouldn't be here, we got a bunch of Dylans that are ready to crush it, and we're gonna get right into the 4 pillars. Pillar number 1, this is my favorite to talk to a group like this about because I gotta smile. You, in my opinion, are just incredible humans in this sector that are adding so much value in every different area of life. I feel so honored. I feel like almost like, how could I be the one presenting to a group of heroes like this? Because your purpose, I can't even imagine how deep and passionate you are about what you do. To me, this is what purpose is. And again, take pictures, whatever you'd like. Purpose equals meaning plus emotion. Meaning plus emotion. What's the deep meaning you do what you do? In the nonprofit space, in your personal life, anything. And then what's the emotion? As Tony Robbins said, the quality of life is the quality of our emotions. If you're upset and mad about life and you make $5 million, now you're a millionaire who's upset and mad about life. The quality of life is the quality of our emotions. Also, change is never a matter of ability. I know never is a strong word. Change is never a matter of ability, it's a matter of purpose. And I would love the opportunity in a couple minutes to prove it. I'm just gonna need some help. Who's ready to throw up a hand and volunteer? Is this when everyone looks down and acts like, oh, look at that, there's a hand went straight up. Let's welcome this man up. Come on, my friend. Come on up to the stage. Why don't you hop up? What's your name?
Kyle.
Kyle. Oh, man, never. Okay, Kyle. All right.
I'm sorry.
You want to go down the stair? All right, Kyle. No, I'm just joking. Where are you from?
Missouri.
All right, Kyle from Missouri. Let's give it up for Kyle from Missouri. All right. Thanks for popping up.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to play a little scenario, okay? Here it is, Kyle. So, Kyle, I have a house. It's like a mile from here. I rented it out. You ever seen Home Alone?
Yeah.
Okay. It's booby-trapped, kind of like that. iron may fall on your face, a blowtorch, like, I don't know.
Psychopath's house, okay.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Nobody heard what you said, hopefully. Okay. But here's the deal. If you come out there with me, I'm going to take you in, and in the top corner room, if you can get there, there's $10 for you. Pretty sweet, right?
$10 to live through a murder house? Probably not.
Oh, he's saying no. Okay, he's not going to do it for. Oh, wait, I screwed it up. Sorry. There's $100. I messed it up. There's $100. Oh, there we go. We got a mic. Okay.
Thank you.
There's $100 in the top corner room. Like, that's 10 times what I just offered you. What are you gonna do?
Probably not.
Oh, probably not. Okay, hold on.
The medical bills are way more than.
And your leg or your scalp, maybe. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, he's tough. This is going different than I thought. I thought you were gonna say yes there. Okay. How about this third one? Do you have family?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have one or two good friends you can think of?
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. So here's what we're gonna do, Kyle. Same house, same scenario. I now have those close family members you just pictured. I have your two best friends. They're up in that same room. The question is, if you don't get there, they're not going to make it. And you're the only one that knows where they're at.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I'll get my hero complex and save them.
He's going to get his hero complex in and save them. Let's give it up for Kyle right there. Thanks for coming out, my friend. Appreciate you. He's going to get his hero complex. Thank you, sir. I love it. Thanks for participating. Now, why would Kyle go on the third one and without hesitating? Because he had purpose. He had the meaning, and look at the look on his face. He's like, you got my family out there, Matt? I thought you were going to knock me out first and then go into the house. He didn't even hesitate. Could Kyle have done it for the $10? Did he have the ability? Did Kyle have the ability? Yes, right, to go in. He had the ability in both of the first two scenarios, but he didn't do it. With no hesitation, no, Matt, not going to do it. Then there's no hesitation on the third one because he had the purpose, which is the meaning plus the emotion. And I'd like to share a story. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I would like to share a story about what changed my life regarding purpose. This is a chart of my desire to run a marathon in 2017. It's impressive, right? Why is everybody laughing? 0 out of 10, no desire. It was like 25 miles longer than I wanted to run. Now, it's a true story. For those from Pittsburgh, we'll get a little deep for a second. On October 27th, 2018, something happened that forever changed me, forever maybe changed some of you in this room if you're from Pittsburgh. I lived a couple miles from this place called the Tree of Life Synagogue. On October 27, 2018, a gunman went into the Tree of Life Synagogue, opened fire, and he killed 11 beautiful souls that morning while they were worshiping. My desire to do something changed. It hit me, and I'm sure a lot of you that are from Pittsburgh still think it's the greatest city in the world. I wanted to do something. I had no idea what I could do, what was possible, but you know what? The Pittsburgh Marathon, to me, is the greatest day in the city of Pittsburgh. And I thought, I've never run a marathon, never had a desire. My desire on October 27th to run a marathon became an 11 out of 10. Why? Because now I had purpose. I had meaning, and I had emotion. Now, the emotion may have been a little bit of anger, but it was also love. Love conquers hate. That was the emotion. And I thought, I'm going to run my first marathon wearing an 11-pound weight vest. And it was 1 pound for every person that we lost that morning. I had no marathon experience. I am Googling, how do you run your first marathon in 6 months? ChatGPT wasn't out yet, so I couldn't use that. And if some of you from Pittsburgh, you know that symbol, stronger than hate is what it says in the top left. I had no idea what I was doing. It's snowing, as you can see in the background of this photo. I have the 11-pound weight vest on, which I found out if it's raining or snowing and you use sand as the weights, yeah, rookie mistake there. But I don't want this to sound egotistical because that's not how I want to make it. The training was not difficult. And what I mean by that is I had purpose. It was not about Matt Scoletti out there running. It had nothing to do with me. It had to do with the fact that I wanted to do some small thing to show that love will win long term. This act of hatred, yes, it crushed me and many of us, especially those 11 families. But love will win in the long run. Have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning? That's fine. Get up at 5 and it's dark and it's snowing? That's fine. I don't care. Give me the weight vest. It's not about me. It's about something so much bigger than me. The day of the marathon comes, and the outpouring of love that happened, some local news stations got a hold of what I was doing. I had a sign on the front and back of the weight vest, and hugs in the middle of the marathon, people reaching out, high fives. The spectators are always incredible. It always rains on marathon day for those that have run. It did that, so my 11 pounds quickly turned into 20 and then 25, but it didn't matter. It was so much bigger than me. I get to the finish line. There's thousands of people. Who's been to the Pittsburgh Marathon? We have some hands. There we go. All right, so you've all seen this. Thousands of people lining the street. I just can't believe there's the finish line. There's a man standing in front of the finish line. I have no idea who this guy is. His arms are outstretched, almost like he wants to hug someone. He looks like he's looking at me. No clue who he is. I get closer to him, and he is looking at me. He gives me a big hug, and he goes, Matt, my name is Alan. I'm here representing the Tree of Life Synagogue. I heard about what you were doing, and I decided I wanted to stand out here and wait for you. I don't care how long it took. I wanted to wait for you to thank you for what you did in showing that love can win in the long run. And this is a picture of, still get choked up talking about it, me and Alan at the finish line of the 2019 Pittsburgh Marathon. This man is a hero. He helped out in one of the most tragic times I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, give it up for Alan in the Tree of Life Synagogue. I'm a Catholic man. He's Jewish. It doesn't matter. It's just love will conquer hate. And the other thing is purpose will win in the long run. Again, I know you all know this in this room. My ask and my question to you is, when it gets hard, and I know in the nonprofit space, I'm on a couple boards, we live in Colorado Springs now, it's not easy, and you know way more than I do about it. The ask is, the next time it gets hard, can you connect to that purpose, the meaning, and then feel that emotion? Why did you start? If you want to think about Alan and the love this guy poured into myself and that community, it's almost impossible to not want to just lean into that purpose. That's pillar number one. Pillar number two, it's not my best look. I'll tell you that story in a second. Pillar number two is leverage. And we're going to crank up the energy here in a little bit. I am going to share my most personal story with you because I feel it relates to this audience. You guys are awesome. Pillar number two is leverage. What is leverage, Matt? Leverage is getting enough reasons where staying the same feels worse than changing. When you can get to a point where you've been the same for so long, and I'll share my journey in a bit, where you're like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I just want to change and feel that pain, and then boom, you get enough leverage to make the shift, where the pain of staying the same feels worse than the pain of changing. And you see, thank you for taking it down. They didn't want to say, oh, okay, crap, and put it back up. All right. That's a picture of me. I battled alcohol addiction from 2002, which is ironically when I went off to college, until 2016. And it got worse and worse and worse. That's a picture of me right in the middle of it, about 55, 60 pounds overweight. No meaning, no purpose, no drive, no motivation, nothing. 2011, I tried to make a change, but I didn't have enough leverage. The change was just about me. I wanted to change for me. That wasn't enough leverage. 2016, I rent a limousine I love my parents. My dad is my idol. I love my mom. I rent a limousine to take them out to the Luke Bryan concert. Nothing can go wrong at a Luke Bryan concert, right? At First Niagara or First Star Lake, I'm not sure what they're calling it now, but out there, the outdoor concert venue, it was supposed to be this amazing, amazing night. I just wanted to thank my parents for being incredible humans. Rent this limousine, we start drinking wine in the limousine. We get to the venue, and I tell my parents, I'm gonna go off to the bathroom. They get their seat, I go off to the bathroom. The bathroom was taking about 8 shots by myself at the bar. I don't remember Luke Bryan on stage. I don't remember any memory with my family. I don't remember the drive home. Here's what I remember: waking up at 33 years old in my childhood bed with a massive hangover and stumbling my way into the bathroom. Head is pounding. I look at myself in the mirror, and for the first time, I got a little bit more leverage. Because I got accountability. It wasn't my family's fault with drinking. It wasn't my friend's fault. It wasn't, I blamed God. I'd look for anybody except for the person in the mirror. I didn't want to look at him because I knew what the real problem was. Accountability was the problem. Accountability is the key to the vehicle of change. Without it, nothing can start. I'm going to say it again. Accountability is the key to the vehicle of change. Without it, nothing can start. It started that morning. I got some more leverage. It's my fault. The blame game stops now. I walk, head still pounding, I walk into my parents' kitchen. And for those of you that know a look from a parent, you might be able to relate to this, hopefully not to this extreme. But again, remember, my father is my idol. I open up the door and I see him sitting there in the kitchen table eating breakfast. And his head's down. He doesn't have to say anything. I already know. It's that look of, son, I love you. I love you so much. And that's why it's so painful to see what you're doing. You're taking actions that you just can't control. Again, he's not saying this, but I see the look in his face. Leverage, leverage, leverage. That was the ultimate leverage I needed to slingshot me into a different direction. I couldn't be like this anymore. My dad, my hero, was the leverage that I needed. Now, the question I have for you all is this. You see that bottom question up here on the right-hand side. If you wouldn't mind, I hope you don't have your phones out, but take them out now just for a second. What are the worst consequences of staying the same for 10 more years? And I'll just share, for me, it was a look on my dad's face. Where would I be if I kept drinking like this for 10 more years? What would his look be like then? Would I even have a relationship with my father? Would I have a relationship with myself? I was convinced 10 more years of putting alcohol in my body like this, I would be in jail or dead. That's it. The question is, what area are you looking to improve this morning? Where's the biggest challenge? Where's a setback that you have? Maybe it's in your nonprofit. If it is, you can put that down. Maybe it's something in your personal life. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your finances. Maybe it's a relationship with somebody else. Please take your phones out for 30 seconds and write down what are the worst consequences if you stay the same, or if you have a notepad, write it down. Think of that area, that challenge, that setback, that problem that you have. And there we go. I see you all writing. That's good. Write down a few things. I don't want anyone in this room to be in pain. But I also think to feel some pain can help move you. It will help move you into a much more positive direction, which is where we're going right after this. We're going to sit in a little bit of discomfort for 20 seconds. I see you all writing. I appreciate you participating. What are the worst consequences if you stay the same? Maybe it's the worst consequence with health. Maybe it's the worst consequence in your nonprofit. Will volunteers leave? Will you not make the impact that you want? What's the worst consequences? And you can write a few of them if there are a few of staying the same. All right, well, let's get into some good stuff. Let's slingshot ourselves forward. I encourage you, this mini process changed the whole trajectory of my life. I encourage you to take 45 minutes at some point, probably busy today and tonight, but when you get back home, write out these answers. Now, how do you finish the leverage? Right here. What are the best outcomes of making a change over the next 10 years? What are the best outcomes in the next 10 years if you overcome right now? Create that exciting future. On the other side of the page or below where you just wrote in your phone, what are the best outcomes? You felt the pain. I felt the pain. I don't want to be there anymore. Neither do you. What are the best outcomes in the next 10 years if you overcome right now? If you make a decision, today is day one. What are the best outcomes? What's your nonprofit look like in 10 years now? How many volunteers do you have? How big is the impact? What's your health look like? Who's in your life? Who are your relationships? What are the best outcomes? For me, as I sat there with my father and I sat in that pain for about a week, I thought, okay, I need to create this exciting future. I'm not sitting, I'm done. The leverage, boom, it was there. Whatever I need to do. And I've been very lucky that my body has held up over 9 years past that date, just over 9 years sober. And I wanted to become the healthiest, grittiest, toughest version of myself ever. Because I never was. And as Eric introduced me, I've been very lucky. Since that marathon day, I've run over 125 marathons, ran 21 marathons in 21 days. During COVID, there wasn't anything else to do, so I just ran a lot. I have been lucky enough to train with the Navy SEALs. It's the toughest 55 hours of no sleep I've ever had in my entire life. Would love to get into the story at some point. If you follow along on social media, I'll share it at the end. I love telling that story. And then the picture you see here is I kind of have a little bit of a smile, but I'm going through the most physical agony because I was sitting on that bike for about 42 hours. I did get off to go to the bathroom a couple times, but other than that, I was sitting on the bike. This 5 times anvil event is what they call it. There's a triathlon called an Ironman, and this is basically 5 times that distance. You have 5 days to complete it. It's a 12-mile swim, which means you're in this lake that wasn't very attractive out in Wisconsin. Sorry, Wisconsin, if we have any Wisconsinites. It was beautiful, but the lake was interesting. 12-mile swim in a lake, followed by a 560-mile bike, which is where this picture was taken, followed by running 131 miles right after that. And I can tell you this, what got me through it was the look on my father's face. I don't want to see that anymore. That guy's dead. He's not on the planet anymore. There's a new version, and he's right here. That's what got me through it. That leverage. You get enough pain, and it just, boom, slingshots you in a whole new direction. So that's the second one. The third one, this is my favorite pillar. As Eric was joking around, I love energy. I love high energy. I love to bring it, action. Remember the 4 pillars: purpose, leverage, action, your identity. This pillar, part of the reason it's my favorite is it can stand alone. You take enough action. We're talking about bridges today, right? Here's something you can write down. Action is the bridge that leads from fear to freedom. Action is the bridge that leads from fear to freedom. You take enough action in any area, you're going to find a way through. You hear many entrepreneurs talk about it. Most successful entrepreneurs try and fail 30, 40, 50 times before the average person tries once. Action is the bridge that leads from fear to freedom. I want to share a story of how terrified I am in this photo, and I'll tell you why. Has anyone ever been bungee jumping before in the room? Yes, a couple crazies. That's awesome. We'll chat afterwards. I love it. This is me bungee jumping for probably the first and only time I will ever go bungee jumping. I signed up for bungee jumping. It sounds like a great, yeah, sign up. I'm going to go bungee jumping. And then you see the bridge and, oh, this is terrifying. Before I had a chance to really overthink it, my man who's standing there, his name's Leo, that's going like this in the photo, has me strapped in. And Leo is so chill. Leo was hanging out like we were shooting pool or going bowling, and I'm thinking, Leo, what you're strapping to my legs right now is whether I'm going to be moving forward in life or not. Please do well, Leo. Leo seemed confident, though. He was so relaxed. Before I had a chance to realize how stupid of an idea this was, Leo's got me strapped in, and I am hopping to the edge of this ledge, as you can see in this photo. I'm scared of heights, so even 2 feet down looks a little creepy. In front of me is the most beautiful setting I've ever seen in my life. There's a valley off into the distance. There are mountains miles off. There's a beautiful river running down below, blue skies, cool breeze, and I enjoy none of it. Because I'm not looking out there. I'm looking, is the rope going to hold? I don't know. I am shaking uncontrollably. I am sweating. Has anyone ever been sweating when it's cold? Like okay, thank you for the honesty back there. I appreciate you. It's cold, but I'm sweating. My mouth is so dry. Leo's trying to talk to me. I'm barely getting anything out. I get to the edge. Keep in mind, Leo cannot physically push me over the edge. You have to throw yourself off of this bridge. And Leo, I get to the edge, and Leo goes, "Hey, Matt, are you ready?" And I look back and I said, "Absolutely not." Leo says, "Then go." And I jump. I kid you not, this is what it felt like. It was peace. It was calm. It was so present in the moment. And I think it's partially because your body can't be hurling towards the earth and you're thinking like, oh, did I pay the gas bill yesterday? Ooh. Like you can't be thinking, like, I should have emailed my boss back. Ah. You're just ultra in the moment. And it was one of the most fun experiences. I would actually do it again. And Leo was a champ. Because why would Leo say to go when he knew I wasn't ready? I told him I wasn't ready. Leo told me to go because Leo knew if he waited until I was ready, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd still be on the bridge. I would never have jumped, and he knew it. That's why I challenge everyone in this room, and maybe some can relate to this. You ever heard of in sports, you hear ready, set, go? You've heard this before? Ready, set, go, right? Has anyone ever gone, okay, ready, set, go, sign up for a 5K or a speech or a new volunteer I'm going to get, and you go, all right, ready, all right, I'm getting more ready, I'm ready, I'm not quite ready, but I'm getting ready, I'm ready, and we never get to set and go. My hand's up, be honest, who's been there? Who's done it? Come on, Cause Camp. There we go, I love the honesty. I'll see you all after for a big high five, I appreciate it. So I think it's actually the reverse of this, and this is all because of Leo. What if we go first, and then we'll get set and ready? Because if it's something new, we're never going to be fully ready at any point. He knew it, I knew it, so let's go first, and then we'll get to set and ready. Now, how do we condition ourselves? I think it's interesting because we can condition ourselves for action even if you don't want to do it. Please raise your hand with me, Cause Camp. Who thinks it'd be beneficial to learn a tool where you could take action even if you didn't want to? Come on, let me see some hands. Who thinks that would be beneficial? Come on, get them up higher. Come on, Cause Camp. There we go. Okay. Most everybody in this room. It would be awesome, right, if we could condition ourselves to take action even if we did not want to. So since most of all of you had your hands up, I'm going to ask for some participation now. What's going to happen? I know we've been sitting for a little bit, and I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but if we hear music in this room, And you want to take action even if you don't want to. Remember, go, set, ready. If you hear music in the room, I'm going to ask you to stand up. If there's something on your lap, put it on the table, and dance like you're 5 years old. I'm in it too. I'm with you. Oh, wait, we got to do it. Well, there's music. There's music. Everybody up. Come on. Come on. Everybody up. You got to dance with me. Come on. Come on. Go, set, ready. Go, set, ready, Cause Camp. Come on. High five some neighbors. Come on. Let's get the energy up. High five some neighbors. My jacket's coming off. Come on, Cause Camp. Let's go. I'm coming out into the crowd. Let's go. I want some high fives. Come on, Cause Camp. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Let's get some more dance moves, Cause Camp. Yes. There we go. There we go. I love the energy. I love the energy. Come on, Cause Camp. 10 more seconds. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, a little more dancing at this table. We got to get a little more dancing. Little more dancing. There we go. Come on, 5 more seconds, Cause Camp. Keep moving. Come on. Come on. There we go. High five. Let's go. Oh, I love it. There we go. Now the energy's good. All right, wait. Don't sit down. Don't sit down. Wait. Soon, I promise. Thank you. That's DJ Slick Nick back there. I got you, DJ Slick Nick. Well done. Yeah, let's give it up for DJ Slick Nick and the staff here at the Sheraton. That is a banger. Okay, just real quick. Please stay standing because I think there's 2 keys to taking action even if you don't want to. Even if you don't want to. The first one is right there. Mean. M-I-E-N. Mean means demeanor, your attitude, your mood, how you present yourself. That's what mean is. And if you want to take action, even if you don't want to, why don't we stand and look like somebody who wants to take action? It starts there. What's your physiology? What are you looking like? So do me a favor. I know you're all at your tables right now. Let's do a mean. Let's do, how would you look if your mean was just, you're probably not going to take action anyways. I don't know. Like, I want to teach you to overcome, I guess, challenges. I don't know. Like, somebody told me to say that. I don't know. Talking your tables like your mean is like, you don't, you're sad. Maybe you're low self-esteem and just, how do you look? Go ahead, talk to your tables. Stay standing, but have a conversation with somebody next to you where, that's too much laughing, I think. That's not, we want low mean. We want low. Like, just act like, whatever. Okay, we can stop. All right, we can stop. We have the best group. I said like low mean, and I just hear laughing at first. I'm like, that's awesome. That's awesome. Even at a low level, you're all at a much higher level. Let me ask you this. You have the demeanor, the attitude where it's just kind of like, whatever. Where were your shoulders? Were they back or were they hunched over? Hunched. I saw everyone doing it. Where did your eyes go towards somebody or did they kind of go down? Kind of went down, right? Slunched over. Were you talking with a lot of energy or just kind of weakness? Yeah, you were pretty happy. You guys were really happy down here. All right, so let's do the opposite. Let's try the opposite out. Stay standing. This is the last part where you stand, I promise. Let's do the opposite where you walk into a room and instead of like, it's like, I'm going to show them that challenges build champions. Talk with that mean, that demeanor, that attitude, like you have ultimate confidence. Maybe you don't have it. It doesn't matter. Act like you do. Let's do that for 10 seconds. Talk to your table with ultimate confidence, there we go. I feel the energy in this room. Yes. Love to see it. Come on, bring that confidence. How we standing? How you moving? Yeah. All right, Cause Camp, we can stop. That was awesome. All right, you can have a seat. You can have a seat. Thanks for playing along. All right, I don't need to tell anybody because you already know. There was a lot more laughter that time. How were you standing? Were you standing taller or were you still hunched over? Taller, right? I'll tell you one thing I noticed, the eye contact. Everybody was looking right at each other's eyes. Were you talking soft or were you talking with a little more confidence that time? More confidence, right? That's what mean is, and that's how we can condition ourselves to take action even if you don't want to. You can play a song for 10 seconds, jump up and down, you're feeling good. Raise your hand if your energy right now is a little bit or a lot of bit higher than it was 5 minutes ago. Look at the hands around the room. That's what you're ready to party, that's right. Ready to party at 9:45 in the morning. That's exactly right. It took 30 seconds. You don't have to wait until some person comes on stage to do it. You could do this in your kitchen, at your home, you dance around. I'm convinced you cannot be dancing and upset at the same time. I don't think it's possible. So there's the first key. The second key is your environment. And just two things real quick. I do a whole talk just on environment because I'm obsessed with it. But your virtual environment, what is that like? Your phone. I went out with a buddy a couple weeks ago for coffee. Every 9 seconds, it was like, bing, bing, zzz, zzz. My least favorite one's like the. Is your virtual environment set up for action, or is this thing a weapon of mass distraction? How is it set up? Your computer as well. Do you have notifications on where you can't get into deep work because every 19 seconds, boom, somebody wants your attention? I read this book called Deep Work many years ago, and it's an amazing way to help you just get lasered in and focused and do the deep work that we all know everybody in this room is best positioned to do. Those are the two keys to taking action. I love that you all played along. We're going to get to the last pillar, which is your identity. This is where everything changes. Everything changes. The strongest force in humans is to remain consistent with who we think we are. That's the strongest force. In 5th grade, I gave a speech and I bombed in front of my whole class. I was like 10 years old. I told myself the story that I suck at public speaking for 20 years because of one speech and because I forgot my notes. My identity was I'm not a good speaker. That's my identity. I have to stay true to it even if I don't like it. No, you don't have to. But it is the strongest force in humans is to remain consistent with who we think we are. This picture is of my hero, Natalie Gomez. I met her a few years ago. She has cerebral palsy. I'll be honest, I didn't really know what that meant. I didn't know what that disease was. She has very limited, if any, use of her legs, very limited use of her upper body. I got connected with her through a nonprofit called the Cow Peace Foundation. I flew down there to Atlanta to push her for this 5K. I wanted to get involved. I wanted to give back. I didn't know what to expect meeting Natalie. Again, I never met anybody with cerebral palsy. Like, would I be able to connect with her? Would there be any rapport at all? I have no idea. Somebody points Natalie out as soon as I get to the race and said, there she is right over there. This is the smile that I saw when I saw Natalie. She was also playing music. You can't see it in the photo. She had a speaker right here, and she has limited use of her upper body, but she can move the shoulders. And Natalie was dancing the second that I saw her. And I thought, oh, what an amazing human. I love her already. I push her for this 5K through Atlanta, Piedmont Park, beautiful park. We're going up and down and sideways. And it's hard on Natalie's body because we're bouncing around. It's not that well paved. And also, I'm a horrible driver. So I'm all over here trying to stay straight. First time I'm doing it. Like, are they going to fire me from this volunteer job? Maybe, I don't know. But I push her across the finish line, and she is euphoric. And for the first time, I used my fitness ability in a deep way to impact one individual. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. I flew home with the biggest smile on my face. Natalie called me about a month later and said, hey, Matt, I love the race. It was so fun. I have another race that we can do. I thought, all right, Natalie, like another 5K? And she said, well, no, not really. Okay, like a 10K, a 10K? She said, well, that's one of the races is a 10K. One of the races. Has anyone ever been to Walt Disney World for their marathon? Anyone ever done that? Okay. There you go, I see a hand back there. They have an event called the Dopey Challenge, and it's named properly because it's 4 races over the course of 4 days. You get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to get there at a 4 o'clock start time at Walt Disney World. Thursday's a 5K, Friday's a 10K, Saturday's a half marathon, Sunday is a full marathon. Natalie said, will you and your buddy Colin come down and push me? And like Kyle, like you did with the family and the friends up in that room, this is not about me, this is about Natalie. Absolutely, let's go. I don't care what it takes, I'm in. We fly down to Walt Disney World and we do the 5K. It goes through Epcot Center. Natalie loves Disney World. Goes through Epcot Center, we're pushing her, we're laughing, spectators are there. She goes across the finish line of the 5K and feels amazing. Big smile. Yes, we got it done. The next day, 10K, same thing. Epcot Center, we can see the different parks, push her across the finish line. She has the biggest smile on her face, 10K is complete. Next day, half marathon, push her across. She gets a medal. She gets a medal for every race. Every medal she gets, her smile is just like bigger and bigger. Now it's out to here. Sunday's the full marathon day. And I'll show you a picture of how excited and happy Natalie is down at this Walt Disney World. This is during the full marathon. She likes when I pop a wheelie on the back wheel like that and the front goes up. Look at the spectators. They all have their hands out. This was the entire way in Walt Disney World. I could have given you 1,000 pictures like this because everyone's inspired that Natalie is able to push through. Given the setback she has, she turned herself into an absolute champion. We get to the final stretch of the full marathon. Me and my buddy Colin are pushing her. You make this final right turn, similar to Pittsburgh, but there are bleachers like 20 people deep lining the entire street. There must have been, I don't know how many thousands of people. And the explosion, the eruption of excitement was crazy. As soon as we turned the corner, I thought, whoa, my goodness. About 100 yards in front of us is the finish line. And we're pushing Natalie, pushing Natalie. We get about 10 feet in front of the finish line, and Natalie says, hey, will you pull the chair off to the side? And I thought maybe she wants a photo. Like, yeah, sure, we'll pull the chair off to the side. I said, Natalie, what's going on? Is everything okay? Natalie said, yeah, everything's okay. But you're not going to push me across this finish line. I'm going to walk across this finish line. For 2 years, this woman trained her legs every day to get to walk 10 feet across the finish line in Walt Disney World, Florida. I looked at her. Yeah, that's right. Give it up for Natalie Gomez. I get goosebumps every time I tell this story. We take the straps off the chair, and she slowly stands up. Her legs are shaking. She's been sitting for 5-6 hours in this chair. She puts one arm around me, one arm around my buddy Colin, and we begin to walk. The race announcer comes over and says, oh my goodness, is she going to walk across the finish line? What's her name? What's going on? I said, Natalie. The whole crowd, she announces, this is Natalie Gomez from Atlanta, Georgia. Let's hear it for her. The crowd is going insane. Cowbells, cheering, clapping, yelling, anything you can. Every step Natalie took, it seemed to get louder and louder and louder until Natalie Gomez walked across the first finish line of her life in Walt Disney World, Florida, to the absolute eruption of random strangers she'll never meet again. Why did they erupt? Because Natalie Gomez changed her identity. She became a walker. My question to you is, how can you expand your identity within your nonprofit or in your personal life? How can you expand it and channel Natalie Gomez? Do you need to show more compassion? Do you need to work less? Do you need to work more? Do you need to work smarter? Do you need to change your environment? Do you need to play music and jump up and down? How can you expand your identity? Because once you do, Natalie is now a walker for life. Expand your identity and life changes forever. Now Natalie, when she's faced with a setback, I will guarantee you she doesn't let that knock her down because she knows, just like everybody in this room, that challenges build champions. This is a recap of what we talked about. If anybody wants, I have a QR code on there. I do a podcast. It's free. My Instagram, anything, please reach out. I love chatting with anybody. What are the benefits of what we went over? Those 4 pillars. What are the benefits? The benefits are your beliefs change about who you are. That's the benefit. You blow your old identity out of the water and become something maybe you never thought you could become. I know I never thought I could be standing on a stage like this, sober, giving a presentation to you amazing humans. Never thought it was possible. But through purpose, leverage, action, your identity will shift. And the final piece is those 4 pillars, who's in control of all 4 of them? You are. You're in control of your purpose and you connect to it. You're in control of the leverage you get on yourself. You're in control of the actions you take, and you better believe you're in control of who you believe and know you are deep in your core. As you heard me say, and I hope you'll say it with me now, challenges build. Champions. Come on, Cause Camp. I'm out of here in 1 second. Challenges build. Champions. One more time. Come on. Challenges build. Champions. I love you all. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Thanks, brother.